Everybody, it's Victor. It's time to run here the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Tuesday, Mosh Pit. I hope you all had a fantastic start here and a good weekend. Oh my gosh, we're starting with $1 and terrible tears. We've got Golf Zulu Tango 4, Golf Romeo Romeo Zulu. We've got, just again, we're down here in the 1.8s again on the tiers. We've already taken damage here. Our movement speed's very good. We have cat ears for some odd reason. And good damage, terrible shot speed. But the big thing here is going to be our terrible tears. Now, obviously, with Red Candle, we have a chance of at least compensating for that a little bit. But it's not going to be the end-all, be-all here. We've got to get some good tears here. I do not want either one of these because, yes, I love Spider Butt. It's not going to do anything for us in the long term here. Short term, yeah, it might get us through a couple of big rooms that we can just AoE down. But we need to get a solution for our tears rate. If we don't, then Red Candle is going to have to be the only thing that we're going to do for an offense. So, gonna be a rough run here, or at least a rough one to start off with, anyway. Obviously, with 99 cents though, that gives us some buying power to go into the shop. So we are going to need to exercise every portion of this start. And what's good, what is nice about starting with $1 is that at least we know that we can trade for quality premium items that we want, assuming that the shop has them in stock. If not, then judgments, we get money equals power from an early devil deal, something like that. It's better than starting with something like, say, Pageant Boy, or a very one-dimensional item that doesn't really give us much benefit past whatever it does. That's a one-dimensional item. And also, we need to stop taking this damage. Our shot speed is not high enough to be causing this level of schmooves here, game. So it's going to be already all hands on deck here because we've got to get some kind of early solution here. Being stuck with this tears rate for an extended period of time with no associated damage up or anything like that is going to be brutal and very dangerous. We also have the flat penny, and yeah, that's not going to help us out. Or sorry, the burnt penny, not flat penny. We could and should take the soul heart, even though I don't really want to, in the interest of saving time. Because I don't feel like coming back all the way over here. I'm going to take it now, but just know you really shouldn't do that. I have confidence in our movement speed, and depending on what boss we see, maybe we'll be fine here with Red Candle. But whenever you're talking about a tears rate this low, you cannot rely upon your normal sources of damage, which is why these type of runs are at least good to learn from. But to a new player, this can really feel like a very impossible task. Even to an experienced player, it doesn't feel impossible, but it's certainly going to be a nightmare of a start here. So instead of being up one soul heart, we basically are starting off with the HP that we had. And the game does give us a tears upgrade. Okay, so already we've gotten helped. We're above Isaac base tiers, and that's a good sign. Hopefully the game still plays along for us. We go on to last week's question of the episode, coming in from the I Outsmarted Isaac episode. This one was sent in by Samantha Kelsey, 231, who said, question of the day, we already know what 3 items you think you could beat every boss with, so what are the 3 worst items that you think you could do that with? Active items not included, since you can just choose not to do that. So this is basically asking me what are the 3 worst items I could still do an Omega run with, assuming that we're not counting an active item, because as Samantha just said, I would probably just not use it anyway, which is true. If we're just talking about passive items here. So right off the bat, let's start listing all of my most hated items. The worst item in the game, which is TM Trainer by far. Missing No, all those. IBS. Missing No and TM Trainer are an absolute no-go. I would not be able to do it. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Plus, on top of that, Missing No would be re-rolling everything. TM Trainer, same thing. Worst item in the game by far. I would rather have any item in the game other than TM Trainer. So let's get that out of the way right now for those 2. Then we're looking at bad items or very challenging items. So you've got Isaac's Heart, which is definitely a no-go. There's no way I'd be able to do that. You know, I'd put up a good fight, but in terms of confidence, especially with me only being able to have 2 more items and they're all going to be bad items, there's just no way, sister. There's no way. So I would say Isaac's Heart is out. Then we start looking at like Broken Modem and Sensor and IBS, Spirit Sword, Pyromaniac, brother. You could definitely talk about like Abel. You know, I'm putting myself in the situation of what are the 3 worst items I could still beat an Omega run with, and I only get 3 of them, and they're all going to be bad. There's going to be no advantages to it. It would probably be something like Abel. Man, I don't know, man. Abel was so useless. But you know, I'm not listing 3 bad items. I'm talking about a synergy between 3 of the worst items that I could possibly win with. It would, gosh. I don't know, man. This is a hard one. I was thinking like Spirit Sword as well has got to be up there. Maybe Dr. Fetus. We could take Chaos here, but let's see what we get from the Devil Deal first. We didn't have a Soul Heart in there, so. And honestly, we need to also kind of lock in on this run here because this run could get out of control in a hurry, not in a good way. Maybe IBS, Pyromaniac, and Bumbo? Pyromaniac is not a bad item, obviously. IBS is a bad item. Bumbo is a bad item. I'm trying to think of a combination of bad that I could still win with here. Could I win with... Would I be able to win with IBS, Pyromaniac, and Bumbo? You did get another Tears rate, by the way. And shot speeds. That's great. Thank you, game. I almost don't want to take Chaos here. We're going to need to rely on... Yeah, I'm not going to take Chaos. No, we can do better than that. Could I think of a worse combination than Abel... Or not Abel. Bumbo, Pyromaniac, and IBS that I could win with? With no active item, Spirit Sword. How would I win with Spirit Sword, I wonder? Because I can't be like Spirit Sword, but then Sacred Heart. It has to be somewhat bad. No, we're not using that. Sorry for the radio silence. I'm really sitting here trying to think about Samantha's question. Tentatively for now, I'm going to just say the 3 because I don't want to sit here and just think and not speak. Yeah, so for now, I would say IBS, Pyromaniac, and Bumbo. I think I would be able to do that. I would at least have a better shot than, like, say, Missing No, TM Trainer, yada, yada, yada. Because she didn't say what was the worst items that I can think of to do it with. Just the worst combo of items that I think I'd be able to do it with. I don't just want to say, oh, Missing No, TM Trainer, and Isaac's Heart. We're not listing off the worst items here. I'm trying to think of what I could win with that are still bad. Tentatively, let's go for that for now. Yeah, we don't want coupon here because, again, red candles are only offense. Now, we have gotten a lot of help thanks to us maintaining our economy, which is actually a little bit surprising. Judgment card, but yeah, it's Demon Judgment. If we get another red heart, we could at least play it. Yeah, that one's racking my brain here. Let's go with that for now. Officially, that's what I'll say. I think that I would have a very decent shot and have somewhat confidence in my ability to beat it, to do an Omega run with Pyromaniac, Bumbo, and IBS. We'll go with that. Now, I'm not going to be happy about that. It's not going to be a fun time. And I don't know if it would make for a fun video, though I'm thinking tens of thousands of people would probably love to see that. We got to do my best items first. And then maybe next week we'll do the worst item ones if I can think of something better. For Wacky Wednesday. This Wednesday, however, tomorrow, I plan on attempting the can I do an Omega run with my 3 best items, which I've already forgotten that I picked. I think it was Libra, Rock Bottom, and Soy Milk, I believe. And then some people wanted to see it with my original pick, which was Binge Eater, which I'm definitely still willing to do. Maybe that could be my reward after doing it with the worst 3 items. Maybe. Well, no, we'll see. We'll have to talk about some. We'll have to talk about some likes to video conversion rates here. Gonna be a high demand. We got Mega Bean, which is not what we're looking for here, and that was a big old waste of time in this really long hallway. We could take Mega Bean all the way down to get Boss Rush, but yeah, we're still... Our tears rate is higher than our damage now. And we started with 1.86 tears, so things aren't looking too rosy right now. But the thing that we have going for us is, of course, we do have Pyromaniac, and also we have the dollar bill, which is maintained, even after we bought a couple things anyway. Let's go back and get the hearts here. With all those red hearts in the womb room, we want to play this before we go into the devil deal, because obviously we may lose our only red heart container here. And we don't want to lose the opportunity to possibly get a devil deal for free, essentially, here. We could also take the coupon. We could take the coupon into the devil deal, which would give us a free devil deal item. Assuming we get a devil deal here, which we are not guaranteed at this point. I will take Little Horn. People have been wondering why have I been hesitating with Little Horn. It's just because of the displacement that Big Horn does sometimes can be very bad. But stuff like that where we can actually destroy the dark matter balls is very good. You just have to be careful with it is all. And if you don't have the movement speed, it can actually cause you some problems, but it's still a good tier effect overall. You just have to be a little bit cautious with it. There we go. So we took out 2 dark matter balls here already. If we take out the 3rd one, then Rag Mega is pretty much defenseless. There we go. Got it. No more balls for you, Rag Mega. Now, if we don't get a devil deal here, then we bought the coupon for just a waste of 15 cents, but it would be worth it if we can just sneak one, because we don't have enough HP to get one right now without going into a danger zone. Or we'll get the Angel deal, which is not going to help us out. And Immaculate Conceptions. I guess. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not what we want. Okay, we got a bomb, a key, and a coin. I'll take that, but we're still sticking with our red candle, though. So 4.68 tiers. It's unbelievable how many tiers upgrades we've gotten. So kudos to the game for really hooking us up there with the thing that we really, really desperately needed, which was tiers. We've gotten back-to-back-to-back tiers upgrades from our bosses, so that's amazing. Thank you, game. I know I sound a little underwhelmed right now, but I just got done streaming for 8.5 hours of recording Mugenics and Pocopia, and been a long time. And on top of that, it's daylight savings time, so which inevitably spawns the comments of people freaking out, the people who don't experience time zones, thinking like, "What the heck is daylight savings time? Why are my videos coming out an hour late, Sinvicta, you idiot?" Yeah, we have daylight savings time in this country. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over here. Gotta wait that one extra tick here so the spikes will go down. We could go into the curse room, but I'm not going to. I don't know how that spider escaped. That's a little tinted rock, or soul heart right there, behind that rock. If we can just get some base damage upgrades here, I'd like to be around like 8 or so. We'll be looking at some good things happening here. But instead, we get Yum Heart, which is not going to be great for us. It's super easy. All you got to do is just hit the Globins. There's no reason to hit the button in the middle at all. Unless you're a masochist, I suppose, but... Yep. And I know that we're not going to the boss right now. We're headed towards the shop, and that's the only thing I care about right now. We also gotta stop taking these little hits of damage here and there. How did that bomb spider not get hit by that? I can't believe that. I was like, oh, the statue's gonna hook us up with a free kill here. Super secret room should be right here. It is. So we might actually be going towards the boss room now. Now that I look at things, we probably are. Yeah. We have to double back because the shop is an absolute necessity here. With us having 83 cents, we're going to get a lot of greed fights, I'm sure. But we cannot skimp on whatever boss drop or shop drops we can get. Because remember, we started with $1, so that means that we are basically owed some value by the game, and it's our duty to get that value. The game's not going to give it to us. I'm not going to re-roll this because we have a unique opportunity here to basically buy out the shop. And at the very least, we can at least maybe hopefully get Money Equals Power to help us out with that the aforementioned or previously mentioned damage issue. 2 Yaves. EFF is completely useless to us right now. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Burnt Penny. I think we have enough bombs here, and I really don't want to deal with troll bombs spawning on me. Boomerang's kind of bad. There you go, back up to almost 99 cents here. We've done another full clear, but we're doing what we got to do here. It's not like I wanted to go all the way to the shop on the other side of the map, but we just kind of had to. Now, after a certain point, it becomes it's impressive that we're not really losing any money to maybe we're not losing any money because the game is not giving us anything to buy in the shop. We could have taken Chaos, and I chose not to. We do get a damage upgrade here, but we need more than that. Our damage has eclipsed our tears rate, though, so that's good. Now, you're seeing the downside to Red Candle is that it does dissipate due to whatever it consumes and the amount of things that it burns. Whereas Blue Candle, it will just do it over time, but you can kill an unlimited amount of mobs while that fire is still active. This one has, if the enemies shoot too many tears into it, or if you just hit too many bodies with it, it will just go away. And Blue Candle was just straight up better than Red Candle. Double Soul Heart here. Get a planetarium. Bighorn doing us a favor there. I do want some more movement speed now that we've somewhat gotten a decent amount of DPS anyway. Mostly powered by our tears rate here. We get Terra, which is going to give us a huge amount of damage upgrades, and more importantly, it allows us to go through rocks, doors, without needing a bomb. So we can skip annoying rooms and really explore here without it really dinging us too much on the clock. But even with that, though, there's no way we're going to make boss rush at this point. There's not a world that exists that we can make boss rush here, unless we get Mama Mega in the store. This whole room is just filled with, like... It's filled with, like, gaps. Okay, we found the boss room. Let's go back and try to find the shop. We don't have any reason to try to clear rooms right now. In fact, we have more of a reason to skip rooms because we're more likely to take damage. But our damage has made some big, humongous leaps and bounds here. Thanks to Terra. We get Black Candle, which is great. Oh, secret room. Yeah, use the orange candle there. Red candle. I don't want to keep saying orange candle. Red candle there to block that initial shot, but we still got hit anyway. The thing I like about Terra is that the shots that you hit on the doors are guaranteed to open. Unlike sulfuric acid, for example, which is not guaranteed to open them. You have to wait for the proc, so... But you gotta be careful of hosts as well. And we're gonna fight Gish, which is pretty much a blank boss item here. I did make a proposal, by the way. I want to say this for the record. I made a proposal to Zombolis about maybe giving the players a little bit of help on XL floors. I don't know if it's going to be implemented, but let's just say that we might get a positive change for XL floors. One that doesn't break the bank or make the game too easy. Don't worry. I'm just saying. And this is not a guarantee that anything's going to happen, but just know I'm looking out for all of us. We get Revelation, which is an item that we haven't seen in a long, long time. And this is great because obviously we get flying now. We already have a Fool card. But more importantly, we get ourselves the Holy Brimstone Beam. The true Holy Brimstone Beam, not Trisagion, whatever it calls itself. Now, going back to the worst item combos that I think I could beat the Omega run with, you might notice I didn't say Trisagion. Because Trisagion's not a bad item. I know Restock is here, but there's no other premium items that we can grab, so I'll grab it anyway, but I'm hoping that we get maybe a redo of this floor. Old Hushy is still on the table, so we might do Old Hushy to take advantage of restock, but that's kind of a stretch there. Let's go beat Mom real fast. I don't know what it's been lately. My reflexes are off looking at that shadow. Our movement speed, again, is also not very good. I will say that. Didn't get a devil deal. We need to go find the item room. So we've already been to our we've already been to our shop, so we know that there was no greed fight in there. Not that it mattered, of course. And hopefully we get a little bit more damage. I'm hoping. I'll take Spoonbender. It's very good for Revelation. Yeah, I didn't say Trisagion in that discussion because Trisagion I think would actually be doable. But what would be like a terrible Trisagion build? Like Soy Milk Trisagion, I can't say Backstabber. That's too easy. I don't know if it's too easy. I don't know. It's a really, really good question. I think anyone could answer the, what 3 items do you think you'd have the best chance at winning with? But what about the 3 worst items that you think you would have a chance with? Excellent question, Samantha. Go down to Polaroid Invincibility here. Maybe get a blood bag payout because I need some movement speed. Also, I should mention right now, there's no meme of the day or screenshot of the day. Nothing. I have exhausted everything within the last couple of months on this Invicta subreddit. So we are starved for memes. So if you're in the Discord or if you're on the subreddit, of course, and you want to submit them, there's channels to do it on. There's meme of the day submission on the Discord, or it's just making posts on the Reddit. I think it's the first time in maybe forever that we've never had a meme of the day just due to the fact there's no more memes of the day. Spoonbender super helpful here with Revelation. We can hit stuff off screen. We don't even need to see where they are. We can just pop a shot and that's it. Damage is still not great. I saw on my For You page on YouTube, or recommend. I don't know what they call it these days on YouTube. TikTok is For You. Instagram's like Reels or something. I don't even use Instagram. But I saw this channel where this young lady, she's like a cleaner that goes around and just takes the most nastiest, horrible properties in like the UK, and she goes through and she deep cleans everything. And I mean, I'm talking about properties that honestly you shouldn't probably even be walking into, like black mold, rats, mice. I mean, it's awful. I would legit die if I just walked in one of those with black mold. So I was really, really impressed with how thorough they are. But it's difficult for me to watch those type of videos because I've been in moldy places before, and I know what that smell is like. You know, if those of you who've ever been into just a horrifically bad, unclean environment, you know what I'm talking about. You can smell and feel the air around you. And sometimes it makes it difficult to watch. But then at the very end, like she spends thousands of pounds of money to fund these things, and you know, it's very cool. It's a ton of work to do. I would not be able to do something like that, but they're interesting watches. I mean, I subscribe to a YouTuber who does car cleaning for a living, like car detailing and stuff, and I love watching the disasters that he kind of turns around. I think everybody likes a good redemption story, and just like seeing I think it's honestly just human nature to love to watch a situation or something that was like dilapidated and destroyed, and you see it restored back to its almost original condition. I think it's just a level of satisfaction that everyone just enjoys out of that kind of stuff. It's like watching a classic car get rebuilt, you know. Except in this case, it's like some old lady's home in the UK that had cobwebs and roaches and all sorts of just unbelievable that people can even live in there, especially the elderly. Just, it's terrible. It's terrible to see, but it's amazing what she does, is what I mean. I'm not saying that the person is terrible for falling in such squalor. Man, I've been one of my friends in college had a had a very, very smelly apartment, and you almost didn't want to. It's one of those type of apartments that you just didn't want to sit anywhere, because you could just feel, even through your clothes, you could feel yourself getting something, like you're being infected with some kind of fungus or germ that your body has never experienced, and you're just hoping that you don't come away with some new form of virus. That's what that apartment was. And man, it's not something I ever want to experience again. Mold is terrifying, man. No, there's no reason to go to Hush. Even with restock, there's just no reason to go to Hush. You gotta give me something. Our damage is good enough. I mean, also, I don't know why I laid a bomb there. I forgot that I had Terra. Oh my gosh, Revelation, chill. I'm so used to not having Terra that now that we have it, I'm like, autopilot. Talking about horrifically dirty houses and stuff. They are fascinating to watch, though. Now, I've also seen, I'm sure that you all have seen those videos here on YouTube as well, where the guys are like, they get like, we restored this carpet that had how many pounds of urine in it? And it's like, okay, so I don't believe that most of those are real. You know, I think that a lot of those are, you probably just took a rug, ran it over with a truck and some mud, and then said, we found this classic, almost new rug. It's like they get it sparkling white. It's like, come on, man. You know, it's just like those channels that are like, you know, we built a brand new pool in the Amazon rainforest. And it's like your backyard. I didn't even see that spider there. You know, they use construction equipment and stuff. You can't believe everything you see on social media. You shouldn't be, anyway. Like, I think another one that I've been seeing lately is people acting like they're restoring like old relics and toys and watches and stuff, and it's actually just a cheap watch that they like threw on the ground or something and already had the parts for. But you know, it's hey, whatever YouTube pays you for, I suppose. People love a good story, is usually what the excuse is. You hear that from some survival channels out there, like, you know, well, technically we're not alone on this island. We had a cameraman and a crew and safety people just to make sure nothing catastrophic went wrong, but we're telling a story. Doesn't matter if we have in the title, we're alone on this island for 24 days without no food, no water, no nothing. Just kind of forgot to mention that there's an entire crew and, you know, EMTs and stuff on standby, and that you're not that far off from civilization. It's like what Bear Grylls got a lot of flack for when he was trying to act like, you know, oh, this is right here is the most dangerous part of this entire island. I don't know if we're going to be able to jump over it. We're going to attempt to. And then there was a picture of, it's just a famous tourist spot somewhere in like Hawaii or something that people just walk over. Like, well, it's about the story. Down goes Isaac here. What a great turnaround for our tears rate. If you would have told me we would have finished with max tears rate on this run, I would have not believed you. And shout out to Red Candle for making this possible, because, man, we would have been absolutely, positively foobar in the early game with that tears rate and no help. Yeah, we would have been screwed. Bighorn also came in a large portion of our damage towards the end. And obviously, of course, Terra, it was Terra plus, you know, the skipping rooms and stuff, all that sort of speculative. Well, that probably saved us a bunch of HP. That whole spiel. But at the end of the day, I think that Red Candle definitely should get the props it deserves here. Oh, wow, we went straight to Isaac. The game just said we've had enough of this. I'll take it, game. After that start, I'll take it. But yeah, let me know in the comments, everybody. Again, first off, we need more memes of the day. I truly do not have any more memes of the day. There's no screenshots, no mosh pets, no nothing. So please check out this Invicta subreddit, /r/Invicta. And we'd love to see them. It's been a very long time since we've had just nothing to show. Or in the Discord. Like I said, if you're not into Reddit, which I could totally agree with and understand. Secondly, let me know. You all will know me better than me. What are three of the worst items that you think I still would have a chance, a realistic chance? And don't just say, oh, you know, TM Trainer. We're not listing off the worst items here. We're talking about a realistic scenario where I can only pick 3 items to win with, and they're bad. Like, what's the worst triple combo of items that you think I'd be able to do it with? So, because maybe I will. Maybe I'll try that next week or the week after. We'll see. We will see on that. But tomorrow's Wacky Wednesday. We're going to give it the old college try, and it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be playing it on the stream save file, not the YouTube one, for obvious reasons. Because I'm going to also be teleporting around and stuff as well. I'm not going to be skipping full levels or anything like that, but in terms of having to do a victory lap or anything like that, I'm just going to go straight to the bosses. And I'm still going to go get like the alt path key and all that kind of good stuff. I just won't be able to get to Beast without the R key and stuff. So anything that I can't reach with an R key, I'm just going to teleport there. That's the only thing that I'm going to do. So we'll see. We will see how it goes. But thank you for watching, everyone. Post those comments down below. Submit some memes. We need some art. It's been a while since I've seen some art, except from Jens. Not that Jens' art is bad, of course. And yeah, I hope you all have a great start to your Tuesday. We'll see you for Wacky Wednesday tomorrow, everyone. It's gonna be interesting. And until next time, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like these pages of mine, like Campbell McLaren, Alacran19, and Marcus. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Invicta.